A human being does not cease to exist at death. It is change, not destruction, which takes place. Live life when you have it. Life is a splendid gift. There is nothing small about it. Were there none who were discontented with what they have, the world would never reach anything better. Ignite the mind's spark to rise the sun in you. To understand God's thoughts, we must study statistics. For these are the measure of His purpose. Mankind must make heaven before we can go to heaven. As the phrase is, in this world, as in any other. 100 struggle and drown in the breakers. One discovers the new world. Rather 10 times, die in the surf, heralding the way to a new world, than stand idly on the shore. Nursing is a progressive art such that to stand still is to go backwards. Never give nor take an excuse. The very first requirement in a hospital is that it should do the sick no harm. Remember my name. You'll be screaming it later. I attribute my success to this. I never gave or took any excuse. Nature alone cures. What nursing has to do is to put the patient in the best condition for nature to act upon him. There is no part of my life upon which I can look back without pain. Woman has nothing but her affections, and this makes her at once more loving and less loved. Unless we are making progress in our nursing every year, every month, every week, take my word for it, we are going back. Every nurse ought to be careful to wash her hands very frequently during the day. If her face too, so much the better. What cruel mistakes are sometimes made by benevolent men and women in matters of business about which they can know nothing and think they know a great deal. The most important practical lesson that can be given to nurses is to teach them what to observe. For the sick, it is important to have the best. Our first journey is to find that special place for us. Volumes are now written and spoken upon the effect of the mind upon the body. Much of it is true, but I wish a little more was thought of the effect of the body on the mind. Unnecessary noise is the most cruel abuse of care which can be inflicted on either the sick or the well. Nursing is an art, and if it is to be made an art, it requires an exclusive devotion, as hard a preparation as any painter's or sculptor's work. Let us never consider ourselves finished nurses. We must be learning all of our lives. Badly constructed houses do for the healthy what badly constructed hospitals do for the sick. Once ensure that the air in a house is stagnant, and sickness is certain to follow. How very little can be done under the spirit of fear. Wise and humane management of the patient is the best safeguard against infection. The kingdom of heaven is within, indeed, but we must also create one without, because we are intended to act upon our circumstances. The martyr sacrifices themselves entirely in vain, or rather, not in vain, for they make the selfish more selfish, the lazy more lazy, the narrow narrower. Women have no sympathy, and my experience of women is almost as large as Europe. The world is put back by the death of everyone who has to sacrifice the development of his or her peculiar gifts to conventionality. It may seem a strange principle to enunciate as the very first requirement in a hospital that it should do the sick no harm. The greatest heroes are those who do their duty in the daily grind of domestic affairs, whilst the world whirls as a maddening dreidel. I have lived and slept in the same bed with English countesses and Prussian farm women. No woman has excited passions among women more than I have.